Well, Stanley, here we are.
What is all this? And a fine thing, too.
Oh, no. That's a little bit of an in-joke.
Yeah.
Today, it's wine. Stan, you don't drink?
No, I have to be honest with our viewers. I do not drink wine. Once in a while, I can drink an alcoholic beverage. I like a beer once in a while, but for some reason or other, wine gives me a headache. Just one or two glasses. Well, it does. It gives me lots of things give me a headache, but not as quickly as wine does. And when I was younger, this did not happen. But as I seem to have grown a little older, the wine, even if I've had dinner, a glass of wine, it doesn't always get me right away. But somehow between, the time I go to bed and the time I wake up in the morning, I'm sick.
Oh, really?
Oh, I'm awfully sick.
But you did enjoy it at a time. And many people do enjoy a glass of wine with dinner.
I enjoyed going down.
For the digestion.
Yes. But there are many different types of wines, and I never quite understood that there were so many types of wines for the different type of food you were going to eat.
Mm-hmm. The fact that red meats demanded a red wine, and chicken and fowl, fish wanted white.
Why would you say red meat would require red meat would require red wine?
It just seemed to be a habit that was developed over the centuries. Mind you, that's going away now, and people are enjoying whatever wine with whatever dish.
Well, I just hope I don't know anybody that eats red meat anymore. It's usually cooked and it's.
Let's get on to the service of wine too. Is something very important because it is a bit of a tradition, don't you think?
It is.
Well, wine has always been associated with big dinners, long tables.
Well, I know people that eat wine. They drink wine. They don't even eat. You know, I mean,
that's the other kind, though.
A lot of people do during the day. They'll have a glass of wine, and then they'll eat much later, not at all.
Right.
But you're talking about a formal type of dinner.
Yeah.
Where you would have. I might say on the airlines now they are serving wine. They ask you, would you like a glass of wine or a glass of champagne or something with your meal? Mm-hmm. I always say no, but most everybody does get it, and I sometimes, I'll say yes and give it to the person sitting next to me.
Right.
Now what?
You're very kind that way, aren't you?
Well, yes. It's free.
Okay, it's free, right. Can we open one of these? Because obviously...
There are several ways to open.
Let's try a white.
There's several ways of opening them, all very carefully, of course. But there are all kinds of apparatuses which helps you get the cork out of the bottle. I don't think we've loosened this. This top thing has to come off first, doesn't it?
Well, that's a foil lining.
Oh, I see. You have to take the foil off. You know, there are some very fancy openers that will help you get the cork out. There's one now, I understand. In fact, I had one that makes air. It doesn't make air. It is air, and it forces the air into the bottle, thus forcing the cork up out of the bottle, and you don't have to twist. Now this is an old cheapie. This is just the kind that you pick up at any place.
It works though.
And it works. And I find turning the bottle is easier than turning the cork. It goes right in like this. You see? See, it's going in.
Right.
See that? Mm-hmm. And I don't know how far you put it in there, but what you do now,
that should do it.
20 further.
No, that's okay. I think that should.
Now what do you do next? You
pull.
You pull on it. Well,
you made a good. Okay, just pull.
You pull. It does. Oh, it's coming. Yeah, it's coming. There she comes. Ooh, wow, this one's a tighty. Yeah. This one's tighty. Of course, it has to be because if the air gets in your wine, it isn't worth a darn. You see.
Yeah.
There it comes. You see this? And this is done with a very cheap corkscrew.
Very good, Stan.
And look at the size of that cork.
Can I just mention, Stan, that once in a while, if you do not screw the corkscrew farther enough, it's from him.
Yes. Into the bottle.
What happens?
I don't know. You were starting to tell me.
The cork breaks inside.
The cork breaks. Yes, that is.
No. That is a problem.
Oh, not only that, it's very frustrating to have your cork break down in your bottle, because number one, it's very difficult for the liquid to pass the cork because the cork keeps getting stuck in the lip, and not only that, it changes the flavor of the wine.
Okay, so there, we had an example of that a little earlier.
Yeah, this is a bottle that's stuck in a cork. See it right down there?
Cork is stuck in the bottle.
The cork is stuck in the bottle. Right down there. And there's one very sure way of getting that cork loose. You simply, you can, so that it doesn't break up into small pieces like it does sometimes. You take an ordinary table knife, because obviously you'd probably be sitting at a table that had some eating implements.
Around.
And you push I think you use the round end of the knife because the pointed end would, of course, go through the cork. This way, I'm pushing on the pointer because that hurts your fingers. No, maybe it's better.
You kind of grab. No, I think it would. It'd cut the. You don't want too much.
Well, you make sure your knife has a very dull end on it. That's what you have to do. But of course, this is tough down there.
Just give it a nice push here.
I'm giving a nice push. It's not. I'm giving a very nice push.
Maybe
you don't push that hard. You shouldn't. You very seldom have one stuck that tightly in the bottle, right?
Can I explain something now, Stan?
Yeah.
This is one of the reasons why, whenever wine is served at a nice formal gathering, why the host or the man gets the first sip of wine. So that if any of the cork pieces are floating like there are right here, he gets them first. And all the guests receive nice, clean claret wine.
I don't think I like that.
Anyway, that's a very handy, right, that's a very...
And the's no way, of course, to remove this and get this out of here.
Nope.
No. All right, well, that's one easy way that you can get rid of your whatever.
Cork.
No, cork. Now
also, we should explain maybe the...
Oh, this is very decorative. This is a fun thing to have. It's not the most practical thing to have in the house because you don't use it that often, but it is fun if you drink a lot of wine. This is a wine dispenser, isn't it?
That's what it is.
And it's glass, you can see that, and it's made of metal, you see? And it has this little thing inside of it. I forgot, what is this little thing for?
That's for ice.
That's for ice. But isn't it supposed to be served at room temperature?
Depends on the wine, too.
So you pour the wine...
No, wait a minute. Take that out.
Oh, you take that out first. Heavens, take it out first. And then you pour your wine in there like this. Then you pour. We should have a little bit of. Now we have this in here. Now what we do is, suppose you wanted your wine chilled.
Right.
Now you put your ice in the test tube and just put it right back in the thing like that. Well, it would stay in there if there was ice in it. You see, it won't stay in there now because the air in the wine keeps pushing this test tube back up into there, but it will put the top on it. Now, to get it out, to get it out of there, we simply take a glass. Oh, there's a glass here, and you put the glass. How do you get it out of there now?
Yeah, and you just push up on and hold, right?
Oh,
Not too much. Maybe you could hold it at the top.
Personally, I think the bottle would be better. There we got it. There.
Okay. Yeah.
It's decorative.
Okay. There are a number of ways. You can also use these. They're a little neater sometimes. Try to get them in a bottle.
These.
Like
oh, yes. These
it's a dripless spout.
It's a dripless spout.
Right.
And it screws into the bottle like that. No, it doesn't screw in at all, does it? It just sits in the bottle.
Tell you what, let's go on to storing wine, okay?
Yes. That is a wonderful thing. That is. You mean after you've brought it home in bottles? Yes.
That's right.
There are, wine must be kept on its side. People that drink it aren't the only ones that are on their side. You must keep your wine on your side, not your side, on the side of the wine for several reasons. Number one, what were those reasons?
Keeps the cork wet.
Well, it keeps the cork wet. Well, that's something I was going to tell you. I have, for fun, sometimes bottled my own, and you have to wet the cork before you put it into the cork bottle, but that's beside the point. You do keep the cork wet, and this is, by the way, a rack. It's a disassembled rack, and we're going to assemble it, and you can buy these for practically a very nominal figure. It's very cheap, and you can get it at any cheap store. It's sort of these plastic things, and what they do, they go together in a minute. And if you haven't got space in your refrigerator, if you haven't got a place at home that's very convenient, you can put this thing together, and it will keep your wine on the side for a long time.
Now that's one way, Stan.
That's one way.
Now, what about our coffee?
Yes. Now, if you want to do now, here's something for the kids.
Okay.
I don't suggest that the kids drink the wine, but if they want to help mom and dad make something for the house, if you have a lot of old cans at home, coffee cans, and you don't know what to do with them, don't throw them out. You can make wonderful wine racks out of them. You see how you of course have to drink the coffee first. Get rid of the coffee grounds. Then you have all these wine racks made.
There we go.
And we're going to let me show you one that we have sort of put together. Do we have one?
Oh, right here.
Yes. And then we'll show you what we do. This is you see what we did? We took and we took a.
I'll get some wire.
Yes, we took a plain old bottle cap opener like this, and you make a hole, you see, in the bottom of the can. You see, that's this hole here. And what we're going to do is here it is. We take picture wire, you see, and we run the picture wire, kids, and older people too, right through the hole. You see, this way. And the reason for that is we are going to take another can. We're going to take a very fast can here, like this.
Okay, well, that's about all our time for now. You can see, though, that it really does work, doesn't it,
You can see what it
Stan?
does. And the reason being...
We'll tell you more about making wine right after these messages.
Yes, you see...